family joining us in the studio. Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning.
Before we get to the questions, I'm going to call home and ground my children for being slackers, okay? How do you do this?
You know, we didn't have this great plan. It just kind of happened. We started homeschooling, and it was very efficient. It was very efficient. And, you know, kids have to be educated, and as they accelerated, we had to find another option because they outdid me very young.
When you say homeschooling, though, this is homeschooling that lasts all year long, correct? Do they go to school all day, every day?
Well, we were military. We moved a lot. I had a lot of babies. I wanted to take breaks when I wanted.
We would also compete against each other who could finish their math lesson first.
So once this got started, those of you who are in the upper deck, the older ones, you got into this? You really liked this?
Very much so. Became a dream of our own, I think, individually.
Yeah, what about, and I know instantly there are people at home saying, what about the chance to just be kids? If you're going to college, by the time you're 12, well, that's the time you're supposed to be out there playing ball and playing with your friends.
Well, Matt, I would say that you're unleashing the inner kid, right? Because you're letting them do what they want to do in life. And so if you program their studies in that way, then you're really getting them to do what they want to do.
Well, you say you're unleashing the inner kid, but if they're in college and finishing college by 14, 15, 16 years old, don't they then expect to go off and start working or go to further education as opposed to doing the things that 14-year-olds are doing?
Yeah. But I
Right,
think
it's all about balance, really. I mean, when I finished, I was 18 years old, and I started working right away. But I had a support network, friends. It's doing your passion, but also being social with the people your own age. And
it's different for all of us because I've taken a little bit more time off myself. I'm kind of the slacker in the group.
Yeah. You are the slacker? You're the black sheep in the family?
A master's at 17. I don't think you're a slacker.
Let me do, you had a master's
at 17 in computer science, so I'm working from home now and doing things with Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Let's do something a little bit fun here. Let's pretend mom and dad aren't here for a second, okay? Let's say they have their finger, they're doing that la 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 thing, okay? Raise your hands if at any point during this process of going to school, being homeschooled all year long, so much emphasis on learning, you didn't like it. None of you?
I think you've heard the saying, if you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. I think of that a lot. There's challenges, but good ones.
Did you ever feel they were pushing you too hard?
It was really more us pushing ourselves and just having a group mentality and a team, really.
It's not really a pushing environment. It's finding your own inspiration, finding your passion.
Did you play with kids your own age? Did you have friends?
Yes.
Because yes?
Now we do a Friendship Friday thing where like all the homeschoolers in our area, our local area, they all come to this park and at 1 o'clock on Fridays. So we like do our school, and then once we're done we pack up the van and we drive over
We're
to the
just
park.
talking about academics. Where do they go for the academics? Once the homework's done, they're just jumping on the trampoline.
You two weren't supposed to be hearing
Oh,
any of this. Come on. Don't play the game here, okay?
Sorry.
What do you think the biggest stereotype is from public school and other school kids of homeschool children?
I would say probably that we're unsocialized and that we don't know how to interact with other people. But one thing that my friends have told me is that they know people in college that are less socially aware or less socially able than I am.
So you feel comfortable going out in groups of kids your own age and people your own age. You don't feel as if in any way you're socially set back because of the homeschooling and the fact that you went to college at such young ages.
I think we're socially enabled, actually. I mean, it gives us a good thing to talk about, a good conversation starter. But
one of the things that fascinated me, Mom and Dad, is in listening to them introduce themselves on the tape, they all have taken off in different directions, different kinds of careers. When you're homeschooling kids, how do you accomplish that? How do you kind of embrace the individual passions of these kids?
Don't you think it starts with reading? You know, saying, okay, you're going to read today. What do you want to read? You know.
And then when they decide, you know, I'm really interested in this, and you're reading more and more books in that area, if you show them the end game, more of the end game than the upfront, like you do this in the 3rd grade, and this in the 8th grade, and this in the 11th grade, instead, just show them the end and then backwards engineer it and let them go as fast as they can go.
You know, we asked people online what they thought about this, and I think the question, the way we posed, you're already laughing, you think this isn't going to go well, right?
You're pushing them, you're pushing them.
Okay, we asked, is this something you would want for your own children? Anybody want to take a guess at how this broke down out of 100%?
I think it was like...
Oh, we already put it up. Sorry.
I was thinking maybe like 50-50.
93% said no, this isn't what I want for my children. 7% said yes. Couple of comments of the yes person. If they were interested and had the maturity, sure. The no person, too extreme for me and my kids. I want them to stay kids for as long as they can.
If they read our book, I think, and you asked them again, it would change.
Yes.
I really think so. Because they would, don't you think?
So is the book a how-to manual? Is this offering other families advice on how to raise super educated achievement kids?
It's how to raise happy, fulfilled, don't stress out, over homeschooling, and I think it would change. I really do.
I think that if there's a good approach to reading my parents' book, it would be one where any parent looks at how can they raise a child, like my mother just said, happy, and find their passion, whether they're 30 years old starting a degree or 15.
I only have time for a one-word answer. Rosanna, you married?
Yes.
Are you going to raise your kids this way?
I will do my best.
Okay. Kind of a good answer. I love that. Yeah, everybody else? Okay. This is fascinating. This really is.
Thank you.
And by the way, you can read an excerpt of the book on our website. We're back after your local news.